and two guys who came over and went like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber, aren't you? And I want a photo." And I was like, "No, that's not how this works. I'm busy."
Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host, Chris Broad, and we're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Donaldson himself. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on?
I'm good, Chris. I have very much been enjoying... I had a busy couple of months, the last couple of months, and I've kind of been going back and watching all of your videos.
Wow.
I just watched your previous video with Connor that was out a little while ago, because you're kind of in this situation now on the Abroad Japan YouTube channel where you are trying to get videos together to get them out, because you've had a bit of a break after the cyclothon. The cyclothon was such a big undertaking. You're just waiting to kind of get some bits and bobs out at this moment in time. What can the people be expecting? This isn't Pete Donaldson in a crowd in a plant saying this and that. But have you got anything you can tell us about what's going to be appearing on the YouTube channel?
Donaldson spoilers. I've actually got 3 videos being edited, 2 videos being edited, and 2 being scripted, 3 being scripted. There's a lot of videos in the pipeline, but the 2 that are coming out next are, one is a nightlife video with Natsuki, where we talk about like nightlife etiquette in Japan, what not to do and stuff. And the other video, and we sort of went to like an izakaya, a bar, and a karaoke place to explain tips and things. And I think it'd be really useful for, like, you know, foreign tourists coming to Japan, particularly for the first time.
Massively useful, because you don't want to do the wrong thing, do you?
You don't want to do the wrong thing.
You don't want to do the wrong thing.
Be physically sick all over the sushi counter.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. But like, I think there's a lot of people still confused when the otoshi comes out. You know that, like, the little dish when you sit down, they put a dish in front of you. It's like some noodles or some cabbage, or it's something small. You haven't ordered
or
it.
a towel, a wet towel. I find that hard to eat sometimes.
Oshibori, yeah. But people are confused by otoshi, the starter dish, because I don't pay for that. What's that? But often it's kind of like the seating charge, right? And people are like, what's this seating charge? 500 yen, I didn't do that. And a lot of tourists come here for the first time and they're like, I've been scammed. But it's just a thing in Japan to try, because there's no tipping culture. The restaurant wants to make sure they get their money's worth out of people coming in. They charge 500 yen, but you get a nice little dish instead. So things like that I kind of want to talk about. And the second video is about Hiroshima, because I haven't been to Hiroshima in like 5 or 6 years, and it's kind of like a guide to stuff to do in Hiroshima. And I got to stay at a nice hotel on the island of Miyajima with the iconic Itsukushima shrine. So yeah, two videos there, and a few other ones in the old pipeline that I'm working on.
Cool.
But it's cool. It's cool. But there's been no video for like a month or so now, and I get a little bit like tense when there's no videos coming out. And
what's the biggest gap you've ever had in your career?
That's a good question, actually. I think it must have been around 2019-ish when I just got so sick of doing YouTube for a bit, and I basically took a month or 2 off. It must have been around then, but probably 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't know. Probably like 2 months. Probably 2 months. And the longer it happens, the more edgy you get, because you're kind of like, well, the people remember who I am. Will the
algorithm remember who you are? That's the only one you got to worry about, I suppose.
It is, yeah. And but usually people come back and all is well. But no, you get on the edge of your seat. You get on the edge of your seat. But
do you ever do like those shorts things? YouTube shorts. Sorry, I asked you that question just as you were about sipping your coffee.
If you see me sipping the coffee, carry on going. I've been doing like reels, Instagram reels. I had one reel that went mega viral, and it's just like a 5-second shot of me on a plane, pointing the camera out the window, and I got, to be fair, it's an amazing shot. I took off from Haneda, I was going to Hokkaido, and the plane flew directly over Tokyo, and I got this incredible view where we flew directly over the sky tree, and I panned the camera up slowly to show you all of Tokyo, culminating in the beautiful, majestic Mount Fuji in the distance, looming overhead. Really good shot. And it got 9 million views or something silly. And I got like 30,000 followers off of it on Instagram. So I was like, shit, I need to do this more often. So I've been doing more like reels and things. I don't really like YouTube Shorts. People are like, you should do it. You should package your videos down. But it's just not me. I don't really like doing short form content when it's just not my bread and butter. It's not what I enjoy doing. I had this conversation with Connor because he was doing a lot of shorts, and I appeared in one of his shorts on his channel where we went and ate some British food in Tokyo. And you get lots of likes, you get some comments, and you do get an influx of subscribers. But there's almost like a different viewership on YouTube Shorts. It's almost like completely different because a lot of people just watch shorts and they don't watch long-form videos. And I've seen entire YouTube channels get millions of subscribers on their shorts, but their main videos get like 20,000 views. And at the end of the day,
interesting.
It just feels like you're creating a brand built on sand. Or it's just like, I just don't see the point of it. And I feel like...
And also, like, the income for...
channel,
The income for shorts is like 1% of what you'd get for a normal video anyway. So you can't really build a career around that anyway, can you?
No, I think I can't remember which YouTuber it was, but they had a short that got like 10 million views and they got like $200, and it's like, wow, it just shows you what a load of bollocks it is. And the view counts go up on those shorts very quickly. People just skipping over it. It's counted as a view, so the views are very inflated, as they are on like TikTok and things like that. So I don't know, it's just very hollow, and I just hate this sort of way things are going where people have very short attention spans. We need information quick and fast. We scroll through the stories and the reels. We don't really learn anything of value. We see a silly cat video and we go, I don't know. I like the fact I get to make videos that are sort of informative or educational in some way, and I feel like they need to be longer and tell a story and a narrative to do that. So, I won't be doing shorts anytime soon. But then I'm very good at
your clips. I'm going to get your clips and put them on shorts and just do that. You know that when you have like the video in the bottom of the screen, I think, and at the top of the screen you have like a video game getting played, like a Trackmania or something, like one of those weird European games that people seem to like, and just do it that way. Or if you left, you have to restart. Just loads of clips. If you left, you have to restart.
No more clip. I mean, like, but then I'm good at like saying silly things and then dying on the hill later on. Like, I remember in 2017, I was like, drones are a waste of money. Who wants a drone? Losers use drones. And then I used one in every single video the next year forever, and I've never looked back. So I'm a dickhead, and I say
don't do sweeping statements. I mean, and to be honest, podcasts are perfect for really sweeping statements that you don't necessarily, believe, and then about 5 minutes later, you're having to sort of go against what you said before.
Very true, very true. But I did feel a sense of guilt this week. I was on a little trip to Aomori that was half business, half not business, and I stayed in a nice ryokan, and I went in a hot spring, and I was piping red hot. A bit like you look now, Pete.
In half a business suit, like you were wearing a top half of a business suit, completely Billy Bollocks in the bottom, half business, half pleasure.
It's one of those things. Like, when you come out of a hot spring, though, you look bright red. You look like a strawberry. You're very sweaty and dehydrated. And then I put on a yukata, like a dressing gown-esque Japanese yukata, and stumbled off to the buffet. And I got a big plate full of fried chicken and biscuits and squid and all sorts of shit, and I'm carrying this heavy tray through, and then two viewers go, "Oh my God, Chris, it's you, isn't it?"
Your diet is horrific.
No. And I'm like, "Oh, hello," and like,
yes, hello.
I love meeting viewers all the time. It's fun, but when I'm looking like crap,
meeting while eating. With your willy out.
Not even meeting while eating, meeting while fucking carrying a tray covered in all the food ever. And it was like not flattering, and they were like, "Oh my God, can we take a photo?" And I was like, "Obviously
of your food, you're disgusting."
Obviously not. Look at me. I was like, guys, I was literally at the buffet, like putting food on my tray, which was already creaking under the weight of 1,000 pieces of like fish and scampi.
Putting prawns in your pocket. Prawns in the pocket of the yukata.
Sweating profusely. I look
crying.
Really crap in the yukata. It makes my stomach look like a fucking bowling ball. It's not flattering. And I'm carrying all the food in the world. And they're like, "Can we get a photo?" And I'm like, "No. This is not the time.
It's dinner time. It's Chris's dinner time. It's secret dinner time. Leave me alone."
By all means, treasure the moment for a lifetime of this encounter.
Oh,
but no, don't take a photo. And I had to be like, "No, sorry guys, I'm not doing photos today.
Sorry, guys, I'm only half here for business.
I'm not doing photos today.
The business is eating, and eating is good.
No, in my face.
My business is eating, and my business is good. Yeah, does that work?
What is
I
this?
guess so.
No.
I don't know.
My business was eating though, and not taking photos.
Yeah,
and I was a bit like, read the moment. Don't ask for a photo. You kind of
covered in Marie Rose sauce. Read the moment.
You kind of have like these wonderful encounters, nice face, and then they'll often be like, "Can I get a photo?" And you're like, "Oh, you've ruined mine." You don't always need a photo. You don't need a photo.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though, isn't it? It's like people do. You find it with like most kind of celebrities you talk to. People will go up to people and they won't even want to interact, which I guess was kind of a pain in the bum back in the day for people who were really famous anyway. Well, like they don't want to interact anymore. They don't want a signature. They just run up to you and they just want a picture with you. You know, it's just like this kind of like big photo opportunity, and I would find that very, I think, difficult if that was the first thing that someone sort of said. Can I just get a photograph? And they don't want to sort of say hello or whatever.
I really hope that people are listening. If you see Pete Dawson, get that photograph. Harass Pete Dawson.
If anyone's silly enough to want a photograph, I've always done it. But like, it is kind of, I think with really famous people, like with actually famous people, they would people just run up and go, "Can I get a picture?" before they're saying anything. Like you're collecting them, like you're collecting their soul, like Pokemon or something, and then running off again.
I mean, it all comes down to the situation. 9 times out of 10, probably even more than that, I do take photos. Never have a problem. It's just when I'm eating. Don't ask me what I'm eating. If you see me with a face full of cracker biscuits and cheese, or a big piece of fucking pizza or something, just don't ask for the photo. I don't care. That's the one time. Either that or when I'm just in a hot tub with no clothes on. Don't do it then either. But like, and also, like,
don't have your camera with you.
But it is the nature of the interaction, and like, if it's a viewer who has clearly watched Abroad Japan or listened to the podcast, we have a chat, then I'm definitely more inclined to do it. I remember I was at Kyoto taking photos by some torii gates with Natsuki for a video we did last year, and two guys who came over and went like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber, aren't you? And I want a photo." And I was like, "No, that's not how this works. I'm busy."
Mr. Beast.
Yeah. But I think eventually, I think I felt so guilty that I was like, "Oh, go on then." I did it anyway. And so, and I left the encounter at the hot spring, piping hot, sweating, carrying a tray covered in food. And I felt a sense of guilt for not letting these two very nice people, admittedly, not have the photo they sorely wanted. So either way, I lose. If I take the photo with me looking like crap, I look like crap, and somebody has that photo forever on their camera. Or I don't take the photo, and I feel a sense of guilt for not taking the photo. Right. So I'm stuffed either way. And that is the burden of being a Z-list celebrity.
Yeah, the burden of being a Z-list celebrity's friend is very much during the summer months when people are in Japan for their first trip to Japan. I just get sent delicious pictures of delicious ice cream, delicious coolish, and I for one love it. I've started CCing in the Lotte Corporation again after taking a couple of years out, but I think they should listen to sponsorship inquiries from our end. I think they should entertain. I think Lotte Coolish should finally sponsor. We don't need money. We just want Coolish. We just want a creative Coolish. Yeah,
who's very exasperated at having you bombard them with social media crap all the time. That's that Pete Dawson again.
Exactly.
He wants a deal. Anyway, if you do see me in public, do take a photo. Let's have a photo.
Yeah.
Me ranting again. It was just me with the tray, looking like crap. I just felt bad for not taking it. Should have done it.
Don't look at me!
To be fair, it would have been a funny photo. Me standing with this tray, drenched in food, sweat dripping off my face in the hot kind of evening sun. And
it's for my family! It's all for my family!
Honestly, me being a whingy bastard. We got a story this week from, good name, Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
And it begins, "Greetings, Chappy Chris and Precious Pete. After over 6 years of watching the channel, this past summer, I finally made it to Japan, and I studied at a university in Shinjuku, and I had the time of my life. My second day in Japan, I went to Harajuku and purchased an amazing, vibrant shirt from a second-hand shop. This shirt featured a large headshot of Barack Obama with the slogan, 'Men for Change.' One day, while taking my morning commute to school via Otsuka Station, I noticed a small izakaya across the street and decided to check it out that night with my friend. The Oba-san, the older sort of elderly woman running it, was the sweetest woman and reminded me of my own grandmother, and we were able to make good conversation despite my limited vocabulary. At one point, she noticed my shirt. Of course she did. At one point, she noticed my vibrant T-shirt and excitedly pointed at the wall next to my table. Hanging up with various photos of friends and family, there was a newspaper cutout of Barack Obama himself. She pointed from the photo to my shirt and suddenly exclaimed, "He's my boyfriend!" Needless to say, after this moment, I became a regular at this izakaya on my last day in Japan. I returned one last time in my Obama shirt to say a farewell. And I promised her I would return, and she very heartwarmingly sent me off with an "Itarashai." Thanks for the great content, lads. All the best, Chris. Who'd have thought it? Barack Obama was cheating the entire time, and Michelle Obama with a little old lady in Otsuka Station in North Tokyo.
Welcome. I'd like to welcome all of the world's news media who are obviously watching the Abroad in Japan YouTube channel for the very first time. You have to know this is where you get your scoops. This is the new Hunter Biden's laptop. This is the new, I don't know what the conspiracy theories stuff is happening about. I mean, Barack Obama has had a long-term affair with an old lady in Otsuka Station, and the world you heard it here first, because this is where you go for your scoops. This is where you get the news of the day, the usable news, the tea time trivia, the information that's going to rock the world, and we give it to you constantly on the Abroad in Japan podcast. So you're welcome. The news, you're welcome. And I imagine Barack Obama's press team are penning a statement as we speak. So you're welcome. You're welcome, guys.
What a bizarre situation. I would love to have been there for that. I said, what a beautiful moment. What a beautiful moment. Barack Obama. There's a town called Obama near Kyoto that I've always been meaning to go to. I wonder if they cashed in on it when Obama was president. Did they sell Obama merchandise? Did they?
Yeah, I always think I always think like Barack Obama, like there were so many different kind of lookalikes from all around the world. I think I don't know what it is about him that his features just kind of lend itself quite well to having lookalikes all around the world from different kind of like ethnic kind of groups, and so like maybe this old lady was actually going out with someone who looked like Barack Obama. Would that be fair? I don't know.
I don't think that would be fair. I think she's chatting shit.
But it's like The Rock. There's always like a Chinese guy who looks like The Rock, and it's just like I don't know what it is. Like there's always like guys who look like other guys, except that they're from like Japan or whatever. I find that sort of thing so interesting.
Well, it's like my
so
friends,
that they can lend their features so well.
My friend Isao, who runs a Wagyu beef restaurant in Sakata, Japan, North Japan, and he had a photo of The Rock because he claimed he looked like The Rock. So I took a photo and I literally sent it to The Rock on Twitter, and he replied and was like, what did he say? He said, like, it sounds like a nice man. I'll have to swing by the next time I'm in town. Such a bizarre moment.
He's got a few like that. And I remember being in Club Century, I think, in Shibuya at one time. And there was a Japanese man who had gone out in kind of like a really shitty looking kind of tux, kind of black suit, white shirt, and he's basically completely shaven head, no hair on his body, it seemed, at all, and he just got some Mr. Worldwide Pitbull sunglasses, and he looked so much like Pitbull, but obviously he was Japanese. But I was like, lean into the thing you look like, just use it, guy, use it.
Bloody hell. Oh dear. Well, I'm going to go and hunt down this restaurant and check it out. Otsuka. What I love about the story is it's like just somewhere really obscure, like Otsuka, which is just this like underwhelming. It's all right to be fair. I don't want to rip on Otsuka. It's like this kind of
on Otsuka, mate.
Little district in Tokyo. That's got a bar, but there's not much else going on there.
It's got a bar and a Obama.
That's right. It's got Obama's favourite bar and his secret affair going on. But anyway, scandals. Scandals are all the rage this week. From Obama cheating with a random elderly woman in a restaurant in North Tokyo, potentially. Don't want to get defamation from the Obama family. To a scandal involving paper. More importantly, people's important documents being blown away in the wind because Japan, which claims to be a futuristic society, still has things on paper rather than USB disks. I mean, only last year, I think, they phased out floppy disk drives and floppy disks in government offices.
We
in
love
Tokyo.
a floppy. We love a 3.5 floppy, for crying out loud.
For your
we love
Toyota
them.
from the 90s. But anyway, tell us what's going on, Pete. What happened? What happened with this important documents?
Chris, we love improper handling of official documents. I think it's our raison d'etre. It's our reason for being. It's the only, it's the only story that manages to make the running order these days. Well, the Aichi prefectural government has had to issue an official apology for, they say improper handling of the personal data of 121 resident households. It wasn't stolen by hackers. They didn't leave a firewall down. A worker didn't steal it for money and compromat. As part of the regular administration of the housing programme that the government runs out there, data needed to be transferred from one office to another in Nagoya. Another great story from Chris's favourite city of Nagoya. The Aichi government's blunder occurred when it was transporting the data, 1,696 pieces of paper, which were housed inside a cardboard box. So they were getting data not on, fibre optic cables, not on backed up RAID hard drives. No, this was nearly 2,000 pieces of paper in a box, and somebody was transporting the box in one of those hand carts across the street, and they decided to do it on a day that had incredibly strong winds, and before the employee who was pushing the cart reached the other side of the road in the Capitol building, the cart tipped over, the box opened up, and the papers, they did tumble, and the worker managed to grab as many documents as possible, couldn't grab all 1,696 papers, and so therefore they blew away. And so the scattered documents scattered throughout the whole city, which sounds like some kind of Grand Theft Auto side mission.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
They all blew away. And the search for these documents continued until sunset, at which point the government had to sort of go, I think we've lost him. Some of them went in the sewer probably, or in the sky. And they had to inform the residents of the data leak data leak sounds too professional for what this was. I think the newspaper went with blow away. And so the search continued for 2 more days. Not all of the documents were recovered, but mainly these documents basically pertain to how much rent people had paid for the month of April. So I very much hope that the municipal tenants manage to get at least a month off their payment obligations by saying, "Yeah, I definitely paid you because I can't be held liable for you losing the documents about me paying them."
I love how, every day there's a story of how, Chinese and Russian hackers have stolen all of our information. It's like in Japan, they just need the Russian Chinese agents to stand in the street and wait for the documents to blow past.
Just grab them,
down the fucking road like a tumbleweed.
Probably safer, you would imagine, because I guess it's air-gapped. It's literally air-gapped.
Can you hack a floppy disk? I mean, Tokyo Police Department lost some citizens' data on some floppy disks recently. Fortunately, if you steal some floppy disks, you probably don't have the 3.5 port to put them in and actually get the information off anyway. And then there was the city employee in Hyogo near Kobe who got drunk, passed out, and lost a USB stick with all the residents' information. These ridiculous ways that
I don't think GDPR really exists out there. They don't really have the equivalent, do they?
No, they do not. But it's just the beautiful low tech story, isn't it? If Japan had moved to high tech solutions, this would never have happened. But also,
very enjoyable.
I wish I could have seen the paper getting blown down the street. Oh no! I've just realised though, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm sitting in my little ramen shop, And here's some audio for not you.
Here's some documents. Have you found some documents?
ASMR. I blow my documents away. No, my little cup noodle vapor thing. What would you call it? Where the vapor comes out.
I think it's a room atomizer.
A room atomizer / humidifier. Yeah. Humidifier sounds real. Atomizer sounds quite exciting.
Atomizer reminds me of poppers, and it shouldn't.
Well, in this case, there we go. It's working again. Oh. It's run out of water, so there's no vapour coming out now. So my smouldering, smoking, steaming cup noodle is not doing anything.
Pour some of your coffee into it. Let's make some coffee vapour.
It just wasn't switched
There
on.
we go.
Ignore
it's
everything
back.
I just said. I'm an idiot.
Right. There was vapour in there. You just didn't turn it on, for crying out loud.
God damn it. That's how such was the news story this week. I got more excited by my cup noodle on my table. We'll be back in just a moment, guys, with your stories, comments and questions over in the fax machine, providing your comments, questions and stories don't get blown away.
Don't blow away,
in a cool breeze.
Wow.
And we're back with the fax machine. What do we got this week from our listeners, Mr. Dawson? Have they been blown away in the wind?
Oh, I'm starting to get a little bit hay fevery. I think the summer is really here. As I read this, so apologies if I cough and splutter. Lisa from Florida. Excuse me. Hi, Joe, Chris, and Pickle Pete. Chris recently made a beautiful Instagram reel featuring the Post Town Magome. Seeing it just got me so excited because I've got a trip to Japan planned coming up in June, and hiking Magome to Tsumago is on the itinerary. I've read that some people recommend starting at Tsumago because it is a more downhill hike. I would like to know about your experience. Which direction did you go? Is one way busier than the other? Any recommendations for best rest stops? Lisa from Florida wants to know the best way to get from Magome to Tsumago or back. I don't know where either of those places are, and the names scare me.
I mean, really nice places. Magome, I always get confused because Magome is, I swear that's the name of the company that makes tomato ketchup. So it could be wrong. But anyway,
right, okay.
Magome, Naraijuku, Tsumago, very nice postal towns on the Nakasendo Trail. Made a video with Ryota about a year ago, I think.
Okay.
Where I went with Charlotte and we hiked around it. Except we didn't hike; we actually drove because we didn't have much time. But this week, when a few weeks ago I did it, and it was stunning. It was amazing, and we hiked uphill, so it was a bit tricky. It was a nice little workout, but the hills aren't so bad that it feels like effort. So I don't think it matters whatever way you go, really, Lisa. We started our hike from. I think it was called Nakatsugawa, and we started there. The problem is with these places, they don't have many hotels, and they're quite popular at the moment, and so we had to start somewhere where there was a hotel, and that was in Nakatsugawa, which was downstream, so we had to walk up the hill. But you can go either way. It doesn't really matter. I think if I was being lazy, I probably would go downhill and start in Tsumago, though. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the walk.
Right.
I enjoyed it. It's fine. Do it uphill. Go on. Get those extra steps in, go uphill, you'll feel rewarded for it. We got one here from Andrew who says, "Hi guys, I'm half Japanese, half English, my mum being from Osaka. She taught me Japanese with a thick Osaka Ben accent, which my Japanese friends and teachers used to find hilarious whenever I was out there. For example, I wouldn't say chigaimasu, Pete Dawson's favourite phrase. Instead, I would say chow dear. Chow dear. Is that real? Chow dear. Chow dear. Anyway, my question for you both is, can either of you pick up on local accents? If so, do you have any favourites? And Chris, do you speak with a Sakata accent? Keep up the superb work, guys. Andrew. I mean, people, all these places in Japan do have dialects. Like, Osaka Ben, I guess it's kind of like the north and south divide with the UK, right? And you've got, like,
that's a big one.
Special phrases from your neck of the woods, Pete, like "Why I Man," which I didn't know. We taught
some Osakan people some of the dialect from my hometown.
Yeah, I didn't even know "Why I Man" was a thing because I hadn't been exposed to the north of the UK. Savages up there, savages, I say.
Savages, but they do have, like, I mean, just accent wise, they speak in a very sort of bouncy. They almost sort of. I know somebody, I knew somebody quite well who lived just outside of Osaka, and they sort of speak in a kind of like Italian kind of bouncy kind of way up there, which I find really, really fascinating. I love the Osakan accent.
Osakan accent. I mean, I only remember like one phrase. It was like mokidana or something, and I thought it was in Yamagata. And I think Yamagata is famous for having a dialect that sounds very backwards and is like ridiculed on like media. But yeah, mokidana was like, I think it was thank you. Yeah, I was crap at it. I still am. And my accent is just British white man Japanese. I wouldn't even give it like Tokyo.
Shogun.
The standard one's like Tokyo, right? Yeah, mine's just filthy, rubbish British Japanese. Like, konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Chris desu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. We got one here from Stony Brooks. That's a cool name. Hello, Carnivorous Chris and Petulant Pete. I have the joy of teaching a university class that will take 12 students to Japan in late May. Multiple students are fascinated by the use of bad English as a marketing gimmick on various products in Japan. My question for you is this: where would you recommend I send my students in the greater Tokyo area to find clothing or other examples of bad English? This can either be a word salad where the phrases make no sense or just poor use of the language. Thank you very much for all that you do, Stony Brooks. Good question, Stony Brooks. I would say... I actually was in Don Quixote the other day, which is a really good place. Daiso and Don Quixote. Daiso probably has the edge because they're 100 yen products. They're very cheap.
Yeah.
They don't have a marketing budget. They basically just make up the English as they go along. But I was in Don Quixote in the aisle for like beauty products, looking for funny English actually, and I found a brand of like face cream called Beg Skin. Like beg and skin.
Right.
Beg skin. And it just sounded quite sinister. It's like an agent from James Bond, like Agent Beg Skin. He'll be joining up with Bond to take on the enemy. Beg skin. And I like that. Why is it called beg skin, Pete?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like begging your skin to be nicer. I don't know. Like, sort of go, oh, come on. I'm covered in pockmarks. I'm covered in damage. Help.
Skin. Oh, my God.
Beg skin.
Yeah.
Smashing.
Get yourself down to Daiso. That was always the gold mine that I would mine for wacky phrases. But I will say, I've been looking to try and do another one of these Japanese English marketing videos because they're a lot of fun. And some of my favourite videos I've ever made was doing these things. But unfortunately, proofreading has got better. Probably because my videos ridiculing everyone.
Computers have probably got better.
And also,
and also AI, instead of employing a slightly English familiar copywriter, you can just stick it in a chat GPT and sort of go, can you make this sound a bit better, please?
Exactly. Yeah, genuinely.
Boo.
Google Translate is pants. Unless it's like a single word, in which case it's fine. But for like Japanese grammar, Google Translate still doesn't work. But chat GPT... he's very good at translating, and I think we're going to see, with the birth of AI, we're going to see a lot of companies get their shit together and start rebranding properly, so we don't have names like Beg Skin for a mediocre skincare product. Who knows? I don't want to rip on Beg Skin. Could be quite good for one.
Start having a go at Beg Skin. Yeah, you might need that Beg Skin one day. You might become the spokesmodel for Beg Skin.
You come to Japan, grab yourself some Beg Skin. You won't regret it. But for now, keep the stories, questions, comments coming in, guys, to broadjapanpodcast@gmail.com or comment away down on YouTube. But for now, guys, have yourself a great few days. Grab yourself some beg skin, and we'll see you right back here to do it all over again on the Abroad Japan podcast. Bye for now. Have yourselves a good one.
See ya, beg skin buddies.